Good morning, beautiful beings. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I am Melissa Baker, serving on your worship team here at 1U. Today's my first day, and I hope I don't suck. So glad you're here. With me in today's service are our worship leader, Reverend Margalie Belizaire, accompanist Danny Monzon Villegas, chalice choir, and drummer Jacob Hike, board member Michael Lewis, board member Willow Cook, Rhonda Rodriguez, and chalice lighter Addie. And let's not forget our teams of wonderful people in the background working diligently to ensure that we come together this morning. So, thank you. We greet you this morning, old friends and new ones, as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to this community. Whether today is your first or your 1,000th Sunday in our midst, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. In this community, your whole self is welcome. We welcome your race, national origin, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. We welcome you. We have a couple of special announcements for you today. If you're attending in person, be sure to join us for Snacks and Fellowship in Gore Hall after the service. It's right across the courtyard. And while there, Reverend Margalie invites you to a town hall meeting in Gore Hall at 12 p.m. today to discuss current events and what this moment asks of each of us as people of faith with a call to justice work. Someone has been contacting members of 1U pretending to be Reverend Margalie, asking for a favor. It is not her. So please disregard those texts and do not engage. Reverend Margalie would not reach out to you in any way, shape, or form asking you for money, gift cards, etc. Also, if you receive anything in the mail that says it's from Reverend Margalie, please bring that into the office. We have our first ever Voices for Justice Poetry Night, which will be March 15th at 7 p.m. Please join us for an evening of spoken word featuring local poets of different ages, including our own resident 1U artist, Lisa Marie Mattis. Be sure to see the weekly update for more information. The Green Team invites you to an outing to Bill Frederick Park on Friday, March 14. We promise amazing weather, a fun time constructing birdhouses, and a delightful walk with Antonio, the park's environmental educator. Ages 2nd grade through 100 plus. Register at Justice Table in Gore Hall during coffee hour or via 1U blog. Finally, from Religious Enrichment, there's children's choir practice today at noon. I'm sorry. So, didn't get blocked for the script, and we are not having that practice today because we are instead sending our healing energy to surround Aubrey as he recovers from feeling unwell. I now invite Jeannie Carter to the pulpit for an announcement.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Carter on behalf of the Friends of New Image Youth Center. New Image Youth Center is an organization that provides a safe place with after-school and summer programs for kids and teens in downtown Orlando. Our current project is collecting jewelry for the students to give to their mothers or mother figures for Mother's Day. We're collecting gently used costume jewelry in good condition, as well as little jewelry gift boxes and little bags to put the jewelry in. We'll be collecting those items throughout the month of March. You can bring them to the welcome table before the service or put them in the New Image Youth Center box in the volunteer space. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Jeannie. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email welcometeam@orlandouu.org. Children will go to activities when we sing them out after the time for all ages, and the nursery is open until noon. All other announcements are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update or on our website. If you would like to follow along to the service, please use the QR code shown in the monitor and on the few slides. Thanks again for being here in person and online today. Thank you for bringing your beautiful hearts to this sacred space.
And now we have our chalice lighting. I'm Neil Boris, also a member of the worship team, and I'm assisting Melissa today. Isn't she doing a great job? Yeah. And my assistant today is sitting in the front row. Addie is 8 years old. She goes to Avalon Elementary in the 3rd grade. She loves Harry Potter, especially Harry himself. She has 2 dads, 2 dogs, and a birthday coming up, people. All right. Now, we're going to do a few words together, and then I'm going to add to our chalice lighting. So let's together do the words on the screen. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And we light this chalice with hope, a sturdy flame we nurture in these difficult times. We light this chalice with the heart of compassion for a nation divided by politics and strife. We light this chalice knowing that it will take all of us to repair the world we live in. May we find rest, compassion, and the hope that we need to nurture ourselves and each other. May this sturdy light remind us of the people we can be and the difference we can make in the world together. The words of Reverend Julianne Lepp. And now, please rise in body or spirit and join me in the singing of our opening hymn. It's number 131, Love Will Guide Us. The words will be projected on the screen.
Love will guide us. Yes, it is good to be with you this morning as we begin to explore the theme, a practice of trust. And with that in mind, I call us to worship with the beautiful words of Reverend Gretchen Haley. We will be focusing today on how we need to trust the softer side of love, especially in hard times. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way. As if we could prepare, as if life has ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought. As if we're not also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves for the needing to know, the yearning to have it all already figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none. Here in our song, in our silence, our stories, and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith. That we believe still a new world is possible, that we are creating it already here now. So as we carry these words with us, beloveds, let us worship together. And let's start that by greeting one another. Look for someone you have not said hello to before.
Good morning, everybody. I am Rhonda Rodriguez. I'm a member of the RE committee, sitting in for Judith this week while she is away. So I have got a Time for All Ages story to share with you folks. I'd love to have anyone young at heart, come join me on the carpet if you would like to listen. Otherwise, I will just do my best to project. Let's see. Awesome, thank you so much. All right, so this story, I'm going to see if I can make this bigger on my phone here. This story is called The Owl Who Stole the Moon, and it is written by J.P. Anthony Williams. And what I'm going to do is I can show you guys here up front the pictures off my phone. Unfortunately, you folks out here can't see them, copyright stuff, but it's a great book. I recommend you take a look for it on Amazon when we're not on an economic, or the library. Library is an even better suggestion. Thank you, Charlotte. All right. So, once upon a time, there was a beautiful forest full of green trees and colorful flowers. A group of animals lived there, each with its own unique sound. All right, so listen for the animals. I can do a little bit of animal sounds, but I'll bet you guys can do better. So I want you to help me out and be kind of an animal chorus for me, okay? Each with its own unique sound. Together, they made beautiful music that filled the forest, a song with no beginning, end to end. Every morning, the birds would say, "We sing a song for you to hear. Our melodies are bright and clear. We tweet and chirp all day long, so listen to our pretty song." What would a bird sound like? I want to do a good. Awesome. Okay. All right. So listen to hear what the next animal is and just jump right in with what you think that bird, that animal would sound like. And the little rabbits would say, "In the fields, we hop and play. Our dancing brightens up the day. We thump the ground just like a drum. Our rabbit beat is so much fun." Then the beetles join in. We beetles crawl and skitter too. We click and clack a beat for you. We tap dance with our tiny feet. Our beetles' beat is such a treat. And the squirrels chip in. We scurry up and down the trees, gathering nuts with graceful ease. We run and play throughout the day. Our chatter never fades away. As the night draws in, the forest falls silent. The birds retreat to their nests, and the fireflies emerge from their hiding places. The music of the forest is transformed into a peaceful lullaby, a magical serenade that lulls the forest to sleep. The crickets come out and say, "We crickets chirp all through the night, a peaceful tune, a calming sight. We rub our legs and make a sound, a soothing music for all around." Crickets are hard. What would a cricket sound like? Ooh, I like that. That's nice. Ooh, this one's good. The bats continue. We swoop and dive across the sky. We flap our wings and make a cry. Our high-pitched squeaks echo loud and reaches all the forest crowd. And the frogs would say, "We croak in our little pond, ribbit, ribbit, all night long. We make a sound so low and deep that lulls everyone to sleep." Around midnight, the wolves come out and say, "We howl and sing, so wild and free, and fill the night with a sweet melody. We raise our voices in a pack and hear our chorus echo back." And throughout the night the fireflies would say, "We dance and glow, a flashing sight. We light the forest up at night. Our flickers flash here and there, our magic dances everywhere." As for the lonely owl, he would still be hiding in his nest. The full moon shines too brightly in the sky for him. He prefers the darkness of the night. With a melancholic hoot, the owl begins a song of his own. His voice echoes through the trees, a lullaby with a sad tone. Ooh, 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 to-wit, to-woo, a soothing song I sing for you, a lullaby both low and high, a melody that fills the sky. Every day, the animals would gather to make music in the forest, and they loved every moment of it. But one night, something very strange happened. While the owl was singing, the moon suddenly began to vanish from the sky. First it turned red, then a black circle started to cover it up until the moon completely disappeared. Anybody want to guess what's going on with the moon? What do you think? You think an eclipse? All right, let's see. Let's see what happens. All that was left was an eerie, glowing rim where the moon used to be. The animals got scared and confused. The sudden darkness sent shivers down their spines. They had never seen anything like it before. The forest music stopped. Not a sound could be heard. The rabbit said, "What happened to the moon?" The hedgehog cried, "It looks like someone has stolen it. It's gone." "The owl must have done it," insisted the squirrel. "He's always complained about the moon being too bright and how he preferred the darkness." The other animals nodded their heads in agreement. Yes, it must be the owl. He was always a bit strange and different from the rest of us. The hedgehog said, "Let's find him and ask him about it." The animals marched deep into the forest and found the wise old owl perched on a branch. The rabbit approached him. With a trembling voice, she asked, Did you steal the moon?" The owl blinked, taken aback by the crowd of animals. "What? No, of course not. This must be a lunar eclipse. It happens when the earth comes between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow on the moon, which makes it look dark and red," he replied. The animals looked at each other in disbelief. "But you're always complaining about the full moon," cried the squirrel. "You said it was too bright and kept you awake." The owl sighed and shook his head. "I may not like the brightness of the full moon, but that doesn't mean I would ever steal it," he explained. "I love the forest music that it inspires." The animals glared at the owl with suspicion. Their eyes locked on him. "We should have known better than to trust a creature of the night like you," they said to the owl, and left. The owl was very sad and wondered why his friends had accused him of stealing the moon. A short while later, and sure enough, the moon began to reappear. The black circle moved away. The red turned to white. The moon shone once more. The animals gazed at the sight in awe and wonder. The familiar sounds of the forest music returned, and the animals rejoiced. Once more, the crickets chirped faster, and the fireflies danced with joy. There you go. Firefly dancing with joy. The frogs croaked in their pond, and the pack of wolves howled at the moon. The owl hooted his sad song quietly once again. One by one, the animals heard the owl singing and realized that they had treated him very badly. The animals returned to the owl. The rabbit said, "We are sorry, owl. We should not have accused you of stealing the moon." The squirrel added, "You were right about the lunar eclipse. We have never seen anything like it before." The hedgehog said, "We feel terrible for hurting your feelings." The owl replied, "It's all right. I understand. Lunar eclipses are rare and beautiful events. I'm just glad that the moon is back and we can all enjoy the forest music. But next time, try not to judge until you have all the facts." Then they all joined the owl in making the music of the night. Everyone was so happy to have the moon back in the sky, but more importantly, they were glad to have the owl back as their friend. What do you guys think, huh? All right. All right. I think we've got some fun stuff going on down in the Enrichment Center. So why can we have everybody make our bridge of love and support so we can sing our kiddos out? And everyone will sing "This Little Light of Mine."
Right, just wanted to give you a quick update on our generosity campaign. Please remember to pledge, even if you did so last year. Everyone, and also remember, if you pledge by March 10th, you will be entered into a drawing for a $100 American Express gift card. Woohoo! And if you have not received your pledge material by email or mail, please let Amy know. So just call the church office and let Amy know as soon as possible. So as of Friday, this past Friday, the 28th, we have received a total of 48 pledges, and for the total amount of $204,387. My gosh. Remember, our goal is $475,000, so we are on target. So remember, please fill out your pledge cards, and we are moving right along. Fill out your card as soon as possible, and just kind of remember this is our time to recommit financially to to the wonderful work of this congregation.
If I can get this to stay here. Good morning.
Good morning.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Lewis. I serve on the Welcome Team, which is how most of you probably recognize me. Behind the scenes, I serve on the Finance Committee and on the Board of Trustees. Also behind the scenes, I provide and take care of the stage plants, the Christmas tree, and many other small projects throughout the year. So it's safe to say I'm fairly committed to this church. Most of you don't know this, but I was married here 40 years ago, before this sanctuary was even built. I was raised Catholic, And UU offered a non-judgmental solution for a rigid Catholic rules that didn't allow non-Catholics to marry, which is what my wife was at the time. I'm a recovering Catholic these days, by the way. I tried to stay engaged in UU after that, but growing a new business, having kids, and just life in general got in the way, and I really wasn't ready to commit to a regular church attendance program at the time. Fast forward 30 years later, about 9 years ago, I got divorced and came out as a gay man. Yes, I was a late bloomer. Fortunately, I'm still great friends with my ex-wife. It was a very difficult decision to publicly acknowledge my sexuality, and I needed a safe space to adapt to my new life. Once again, UU was here and embraced me with open arms and loving community. Side PSA, we have a rapidly growing LGBTQ plus group in this church that you can sign up for at the welcome table anytime. And it's this community of liberal-minded, intelligent folks with an outstanding capacity for love and empathy that keeps me coming back. Not only that, but the activism and outreach of the greater community around us show that we care about our future and are willing to take action to protect that. When I first joined UU, I was not used to pledging money to church. That's what my parents did, so I never had that obligation. So I entered the commitment slowly at first here with this church. But over the years, I've increased my commitment greatly, and I encourage you all to do the same. And I'm not talking about throwing a couple dollars in the basket when it goes around. That's welcome, of course. But I'm talking about making an ongoing commitment to this church, whether it's monthly or annual, however you want to do it, so we can continue to offer this wondrous safe space and loving community that we all cherish. And if giving money is beyond your ability right now, then give your time. Volunteer to help this church thrive and grow. And if you are still unable to honestly not do any of those things, then bring a friend. Because in addition to money, this church needs to grow to sustain itself. And word of mouth is the best way for people to find us. There are many new folks here, especially since the election. And if you have any questions about how to give, how much to give, please come find me. I love to talk, as most of you know. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Debbie Reinhardt, a member of the Board of Trustees. We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of the church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. Today's full collection will go to our Share the Plate recipient for March and April, Zebra Youth Coalition, and our very own Willow Cook will now tell us about this wonderful agency.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Zebra Youth and things they do for the LGBTQ community. Zebra Youth has many different has a drop-in location down on Mills, and they have different support services for LGBTQ youth in need. They provide housing services for homeless LGBTQ teens and and over the last 12 years, over 400 youth have been sheltered in their facilities, and in 2021 there were 50 people. And they have their drop-in center where youth are able to come by for a hot meal, a shower, to brush their teeth, do laundry, all under the care of safe adults, and that has been done over 600 times. And they have mental health counseling. In 2021, over 130 youth got counseling from Zebra Youth counselors, and they have drop-in events for all the for members. They have music therapy. They have all these different events, and it's just a community that is very helpful for youth and teens of the LGBTQ community. So if you are able to donate, please donate. Thank you.
Thank you, Willow. The offering will now be collected. Note that you can also give online. Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
It is now the time that we set aside for a deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or help with, or a joy you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows that we share with the larger congregation here on Sunday mornings. You can do so during the week by emailing us at joysandsorrows@orlandouu.org. If you are attending in person, you can fill out a card, and our wonderful greeters make sure that it gets up here so that we can share it. We also offer you the opportunity to light a candle, and so we'll call you to do that shortly. So bring your joys, bring your sorrows as we come together. Come just as you are, because your whole self is welcome in this sacred community that we are creating together. These beautiful flowers here are provided by Catherine Vaccaro in celebration of Mardi Gras. She had these beautiful, each colors here represents something. Why no, the purple I believe represents justice. She specifically collected these colors, and we didn't get the whole writing, so unfortunately I can't tell you the other colors, but you may want to look that up. Jeannie Carter wanted to share a happy birthday or happy anniversary to everyone celebrating in March. And, you know, in the larger community, there is just so much going on. So we want to hold our communities and our country with care, and the world with our compassion by acting for justice in all the small and large ways that will move the arc of the universe toward justice. And please remember that the arc is long. And for all the joys and sorrows of this community, those shared and those held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, and let us send one another healing energy. I invite you now to meditate on these words from the Reverend Kevin Tarsa, Psalms 23 for this moment. And if you could take down this word, it is written from the first person point of view. Sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes if that feels right for you, or keep them at a soft gaze. May I remember in this tender moment that love is my guide, always, shepherding me toward ways of openness and compassion. I have what I need, really, with love at my side, above me, below me, in front of me, behind me, inside every cell of me. Love infused everywhere. Just when the weight of the world I inhabit threatens to drop me in place and press my hope down into the ground beneath me, love invites me to rest for a gentle while and leads the center of my soul to the quiet, still, restoring waters nearby that somehow I had not noticed. And so, love quietly sets me once again on its tender and demanding path. Even when the walls close around me and the cries of death echo through untold corners, gripping my heart with fear and sadness, I know that all will be well, that I will be well, when love whispers near to me, glints at the corner of my eye, rest with gentle and persistent invitation upon my shoulders. Yes, love blesses me even as the sources and symbols of my pain look on. Love blesses me from its infinite well, and I turn and notice that goodness and kindness and grace follow me everywhere, everywhere I go. I live in a house of love, love that will not let me go. I live in a house of love and always will. Beloveds, may we trust the gentleness of love. And with love in your heart, please come forward if you are willing and able to light a candle. Come forward. the last two candles lit. One was for those attending online, and the other for the joys and sorrows that we continue to hold on to. Thank you. We've come together today in the light of our chalice, the symbol of our faith, this sturdy flame of hope that we nurture in difficult times. We come together to remind ourselves of who we are called to be: people of justice, people of love, people who do not harden our hearts, but instead lean into the softness of love, even when the world would have us believe that only hardness can keep us safe. Reverend Julian Leps from our chalice lighting words remind us that it will take all of us to repair the world we live in. In these times of political division, of injustice that rends the fabric of our society, of deep suffering among the most vulnerable, it is tempting to close ourselves off, to become rigid, unfeeling, unyielding. It is easy to believe that to survive, to fight, to endure, we must harden ourselves. But beloveds, this is not the way of love. We have seen how in hard times people close themselves off. We are susceptible to that too, even though love is at the center of our faith. Pain, fear, and exhaustion can build walls around our hearts. We hear the cries of the marginalized of this great nation. We see the tearing away and trampling of our most vulnerable, and we wonder, what is this moment asking of us? How do we bear witness to the pain and injustice of the world without being consumed by it? How do we fight for all we have while keeping our hearts soft and full of love? Reverend Gretchen Haley from our call to worship echoes our shared uncertainty. She asks those questions. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? These questions cycle in our minds as we grasp at news, at signs, at any bit of certainty that might bring us comfort. But unfortunately, life has never promised certainty. Life has never assured us that it will make sense. What we are assured of is this: we are actors in this still unfolding story. We are co-creators of a new world, not by closing our hearts in despair, but by opening them in love. To love in hard time is not weakness. It is the greatest strength we can cultivate. When we love, we resist the forces that seek to make us numb. When we love, we refuse to allow the cruelty of the world to define us. Love does not mean passive acceptance of suffering and injustice. It means choosing to remain open, choosing to let our hearts break again and again, so that we can rebuild a world where justice and compassion are woven into its very foundation. Love asks us to be vulnerable, to see pain, and not turn away. It asks us to be in solidarity with those who are suffering, not with empty words, but with real action. It calls us to be present, to listen deeply, to show up when we feel powerless. This is the paradox of love. It is both the gentlest and the most powerful force in existence. Reverend Kevin Tarsa's prayer reminds us that love is our guide, always. Even when the weight of the world presses down upon us, love invites us to rest in its arms. Love leads us to still waters, to moments of peace and renewal. It strengthens us, not by making us unfeeling warriors,
but by infusing every part of us with presence. We must not keep our hearts soft. We must keep our hearts soft while growing stronger. So, how do we keep our hearts soft? How do we do that? Because we have a long journey ahead of us. So we can, first, we must cultivate practices of rest and renewal. We must allow ourselves to feel joy, to experience beauty, to find solace in community. The work of justice is a marathon, not a sprint. And if we do not care for ourselves, we will burn out before the work is done. Second, we must ground ourselves in love as a daily practice. This means speaking words of kindness even when anger tempts us to lash out. It means choosing curiosity over judgment, connection over isolation. It means remembering that even those who oppose justice are still capable of transformation, and that our love must extend even to the hardest places. Love is stronger than hate. So third, we must trust that love is indeed stronger than hate. We must believe that a new world is possible, not just in theory, but in reality. Reverend Haley's words remind us that we are creating that world already, here, now. Every act of love, every moment of softness, every time we refuse to let injustice harden us, we are building the future we dream of. And finally, we must commit ourselves to the long haul. The work of justice is never quick or easy, and we will have setbacks. We are having setbacks, disappointments, and heartbreaks along the way. We each have a role to play. Yours may be quite different from another's. What's important is that we must not let these moments of despair define our journey. Instead, we must return to love again and again, drawing from its wellspring of strength. We must remind each other of the goodness that still exists in the world, of the acts of kindness that happen in quiet corners, and of the resilience of the human spirit. Beloved, we live in a house of love, a love that will not let us go, a love that blesses us even in the face of chaos, a love that calls us forward, not into despair, but into action, not into bitterness, but into transformation, not into hardness, but into radical, world-changing softness of love. May we trust this love. May we embody this love. May we refuse to let injustice make us bitter. Instead, let love make us brave. And may we together nurture the sturdy flame of hope and compassion as we move forward into the future we are creating, hand in hand, heart to heart. So let us go forth, not with hardened hearts, but with hearts full of love. Let us take this love into the world, not as a passive feeling, but as an active, transformative force. Let us remember that love is not a finite resource, but an abundant and infinite well. And let us draw from it again and again, so that we may sustain ourselves and each other for the journey ahead. May we be so blessed. And now rise and body your spirit and join me in singing our closing hymn, number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere.
We'll sing one verse, so sing a loud crowd.
but sorry. May we go out today with trust and the tenderness that we so often arrive to hold us in our pain, with confidence and the courage that arises from within, but is not fully our own doing, and with faith in the larger love that never ends and never lets us go. Reverend Scott Taylor. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now the service truly begins. And our first call to action is to please attend the town hall meeting. This is just to talk about what's going on and what are the things we can do. And of course, I could not leave the pulpit and not remind you to support the sacred work of this beloved community. Support Unitarian Universalism. Pledge early and pledge often. Now. And please join me in saying these words as we extinguish this flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Good. You okay? Yep. All right. That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, with zebra finance.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine throwing a child of mine out.
Right.
I can imagine wanting to.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
When they drive you to distraction.
Yeah, right.
All right, you want to carry it?
It doesn't matter.